My dad beat me up and disowned me on my 18th birthday for raising my voice at my golden brother, yelling, "You're a failure that is not worth celebrating." I turned 18 the same week my brother crashed his third car. Ethan walked into the kitchen like nothing happened, keys spinning around his finger while Dad sat at the table staring at another insurance bill. Mom kept wiping the counter even though it was already clean. Nobody yelled at Ethan. Dad just sighed. "You need to be more responsible." That was it. 3 months earlier, Dad screamed at me for overdrafting his account by $32 when I used the wrong debit card at a gas station. That was our house. Ethan could do anything and still be the favorite. I learned early that the easiest way to survive was staying quiet. I worked after school at a grocery store, paid my own phone bill, bought my own clothes, and stayed out of everyone's way. Dad called it building character. What he meant was nobody planned on helping me. My birthday dinner happened on a Thursday night. Mom made steak because Ethan liked steak. Dad bought a Costco cake with my name spelled wrong in blue frosting. Nobody noticed except Mom, and even she just scratched off one letter with her fingernail and said, "Close enough." Ethan showed up almost an hour late wearing sunglasses indoors. He dropped into his chair and started talking about some crypto investment he wanted Dad to help fund. Dad listened like it was the smartest thing he'd ever heard. Earlier that afternoon, I'd found out I got accepted into a state university engineering program with a partial scholarship. I tried bringing it up. Dad barely looked at me. "That's good." Then Ethan laughed. "Bro's gonna spend 4 years becoming a professional virgin." Everybody chuckled except Mom. Normally I would have ignored it, but something finally snapped. Maybe because Ethan was 24, unemployed, and still living at home after Dad already paid off one of his gambling debts. Maybe because I was tired of pretending everything was normal. I looked at Ethan and said, "At least I'm doing something with my life." The room went quiet. Dad immediately gave me that look, the "shut up right now" look, but I kept going. "You screw up everything and everybody still treats you like some success story." Ethan leaned back slowly. "You got a problem with me? You don't even pay your own bills." Dad slammed his hand on the table. "That's enough." "No," I said. "It's not enough. You treat him like he can do no wrong while I get treated like garbage for existing." Dad stood up fast. "You don't talk to your brother like that." "Why? Because he's your favorite?" That was the moment everything changed. Dad crossed the kitchen and hit me hard enough to throw me into the pantry door. Mom screamed. Ethan just stood there watching. Dad grabbed my shirt and yanked me upright. "You ungrateful little piece of shit," he yelled. "You're a failure that is not worth celebrating." The whole kitchen went dead silent after that. Then he pointed at the front door. "Get out." Mom tried grabbing his arm, but he shoved her away. I went upstairs, stuffed clothes into a backpack, grabbed my laptop and scholarship papers, and left. Nobody stopped me. I slept in my car for 2 nights before my friend Marcus let me stay on his couch. Dad canceled my phone the next morning. Mom sent me one message from Ethan's old iPad. "Just give him time." I never answered. For the next 4 years, I disappeared. I finished college while working warehouse night shifts. Most days, I barely slept. After graduation, I got hired by a defense contractor in Denver, making $92,000 a year. The first thing I bought wasn't a car. It was a lawyer. Because during college, I found out my grandfather left money behind for all the grandkids. Around $280,000 split evenly. Dad was the executor. Ethan got his share at 21. Mine somehow never came up. My lawyer found everything. Transfers, withdrawals, signed documents. Dad had been moving money around for years. The lawsuit hit him 6 months after I started my job. Mom called crying. Dad left angry voicemails calling me a traitor. Ethan sent me a long message about destroying the family. I ignored all of them. During mediation, Dad wouldn't look at me. His lawyer kept talking about misunderstandings until my lawyer slid the bank records across the table. Silence. Dad suddenly looked smaller than I remembered. We settled 3 weeks later. I got my inheritance, legal fees, and interest. A little over $347,000. Dad had to refinance the house to pay it. I heard Ethan moved out not long after because the money finally stopped coming. Mom still texts me sometimes on holidays. Short messages. "Hope you're okay. Thought about you today." I never reply. Last month, Dad emailed me for the first time in years. Just one sentence. I did my best. I stared at it for a minute while eating dinner in my apartment. Then I deleted it and kept eating. That was the entire conversation.